You're listening to the Nerd to Know Media Network. Join us at nerdtoknowmedia.com.
Broadcasting from the Blanchistan Center, this is Phoenix FM.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies.
According to the Nerd Index, you should be upside down in a junior high toilet around the clock.
This is We're going live! Time goes in, time goes out. Never miscommunication. It's over 9,000!
My name is Foxy.
The balls are in there. Do a barrel roll. Don't face me, bro. It's a trap. I'm a firing believer. Time to Hey, Charlie, wake up! Oh, God, oh, man.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Nerd to Know Basis Show, airing on Phoenix 92.5 FM and all those other wonderful places on the internet like Spotify and our website. I'm Cian, and with me this week is...
Hey, it's Art.
Hey, it's Kev.
And Mannequin Blue.
We've got it down. It only took 200 episodes, but here we are. We
Woo!
can
You know what they say.
in alphabetical order.
You know what they say. Practice makes perfect.
That's it. Repetition.
The definition of insanity.
No, it's the definition of a radio show.
Definition of a podcast, certainly.
Exactly.
I mean, radio show. We're classy joints. Why
not both?
Why not both?
Exactly.
So we do have some sort of 200th episode thingies because our 100th episode was actually recorded in the heat of lockdown. So consider this a little bit of a time capsule. But before we get that, we're going to do some timely things. So Kev, I believe you have a review or potential outrage or gobsmacked that you want to bring to the show.
Yeah. We find ourselves at this once again. Netflix have decided to adapt another well-beloved anime into live action. And shock and aghast, this one's good.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I haven't seen One Piece, the anime, but I did see clips of it floating around social media, and it looked decent, like.
Yeah, so like just kind of get to set a baseline, as Kia mentioned, so it is One Piece. One Piece is, for lack of a better word, incredible, but also expansive. The thing everybody will always harp on is length, because it is at about 1,090 chapters now.
Which is crazy.
No, it's a perfectly reasonable length for a manga, Katie. Come on.
Just don't get it, man.
Just don't get it.
But like, isn't it like...
my real dad.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it like the longest running anime or something like that?
No, far from it. Like there were ones. Oh yeah, no. There's been like short form. There were short form ones from the 60s that ran for like the better part of 40 years.
Wow.
Well, I mean, as an ongoing story, though, I mean, if you lump it with international things like Superman or Garfield or whatever, it's always going to muddy the water. Like,
what it is, though, it is. I saw this a couple of years ago, so I don't know how relevant it still is. But at one point, it was the third highest grossing comic franchise in the world.
Wow.
Third only to all of Batman and all of Superman.
Really? Spider-Man doesn't crack up there? Wow.
One Piece is exceptionally popular.
Holy moly.
In sheer volume sales. And it's a rip-roaring pirate adventure that is truly globe-trotting and is a masterwork of macro and micro storytelling. So Netflix decided, how about we try to make 8 episodes of television about this?
Just cut it down a bit.
Just put it down. But no, they've actually managed to pull it off, because One Piece, it is that expansive, but it is easily broken up into very individualized chunks. And they've taken basically the East Blue Saga as the first kind of arc before they get into the kind of the next like major kind of story beat. And just and they've cut it down and managed to make each one a kind of an individual episode while having a running through line. And it's really good. Like to get into it, like they have managed to get a cast who embodies everything that was great about those characters, especially the actor Inoki who's playing Monkey D. Luffy, who is this like boundless well of shonen protagonist optimism. Like the guy is a Looney Tunes character.
Is this the guy who's on all the posters with a smile bigger than his own head?
Yeah. Helped by the fact that the thing about Monkey D. Luffy is that he is a rubber man, in that he is made of rubber and can stretch himself out. And you know what? The effects are shockingly not horrifying. they're a little on the dodgier end of CG, but not bad. You know, right. There's an element of being able to take a grain of salt with it. But yeah, all of the cast are great. They manage anything they do change in adapting, you know, to format to hour-long like streaming live action episodes. Everything is done in service of the grander plot of One Piece. And a lot of things they've changed. Nothing contradicts the longer running story, and anything they've added would have been mentioned after the fact.
So this does feel like a loving kind of remake.
Everything about this feels like it's come from a place of passion from people who know One Piece. Like my favorite, like there's so many little Easter eggs for people who know One Piece, like because like it's pirates. So the way they they introduce a lot of pirates is through wanted posters. Like it manages to kind of like leapfrog like Dragon Ball's like power level problem by giving every pirate a bounty level. But the thing is, it's that the bounties aren't exactly a measure of how powerful you are. They're a measure of how much of a threat the government thinks you are.
Oh, okay. So it's more about notoriety than like how good your sword, like.
Exactly. So like one of the crew members is a notorious liar, but an absolute coward. And he has like the third highest bounty on the crew. Because people think he is a god.
All right, you're talking me into this.
That's way later. But like, yeah, there's so many Easter eggs. Like one of the Easter eggs is one of the wanted posters in the first episode is for a side bit pirate from like episode 900, a guy called Cavendish. Truly shows up for 3 episodes and is gone. And it's that sort of just attention to detail where I'm like, oh, these guys know One Piece.
Okay, but like you're saying this as like someone who seems to be very familiar with it. If I'm Joe Blogs, having not seen an anime before, do you think there's still an audience for that? Like,
absolutely,
yeah.
Because they like it. This comes back to the question we had when we were talking about Cowboy Bebop, which would have been the other major live action thing Netflix had done.
Yeah.
And the question we raised was, who was this for? In Cowboy Bebop's stance, it ended up kind of appealing to nobody.
Yeah, because I saw the Death Note film ahead of the anime, and I thought that was okay, but it didn't communicate like what was good about it, you know?
Whereas this, I think, has managed to hit the sweet spot where it appeals to both longtime fans of One Piece and people who've never seen it. It's still that gateway. It's still the intro to that story. Reframed in live action, given a slightly different workaround. If you I get it, One Piece is imposing. If you've ever had any sort of an inclination to check it out, this would be the best way to do it if the manga seems, as I said, too imposing.
Well, that's a huge compliment in and of itself. Like,
yeah, and if you like this, I would recommend you go back and start again, because the plot that the manga covers of this part is different enough that there's still things you can discover through that.
So it's not like a carbon copy experience, like.
I'd say about 80%.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I am thoroughly blown away, and yeah, just I'm not holding my hopes out for a second season, because this looked terribly expensive to make. They like made a lot of there's so many practical effects in this as well, which I enjoy. But they made so many like huge boat sets.
Well, I think we talked about this maybe last week, where it's like anything that's filmed on a boat in the actual ocean will never turn a profit, you know?
Yeah. So this has to be the biggest show on the planet. Otherwise, I don't see it getting a second season.
We still haven't even had Sandman confirmed for a second season, and that was
and Netflix has been pretty finicky about that sort of thing recently. But I hope, because I know the next where I said this first series is introducing a lot of the kind of the core cast and introducing the world, which is so well fleshed out. The next arc, the Alabasta arc, is the first like long form piece of storytelling in One Piece that gets to the heart of things like the Seven Warlords of the Sea and the much more kind of like heavy geopolitics of the world and the Grand Line, and really kind of starts getting up to the kind of the upper ceiling of like the creativity of powers in this thing. I like Alabasta is the first sign of, oh no, this story is saying something,
right?
So I
not
would
just kids having fun in the ocean, like like you're, and
they've like, this series drops seeds of that throughout it. Like it's definitely it's building itself to be an adaptation of all of One Piece, and I can only hope that they get it. But yeah, no, I had a blast. It gets an absolute recommendation if you've ever had like an inclination to watch One Piece. Like I could nitpick, I could gripe, but nothing for what it is. Nothing like is substantive enough for me to really put a mark against it.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna come back with questions in a few weeks.
Controversial opinion, right? But would you recommend it for someone who doesn't like One Piece based solely on the fact that they thought all the characters were incredibly grating?
Ooh, that seems incredibly specific.
Not talking about anyone in particular.
This question comes from Ranakin Shu.
I would say give it a shot. They are very close to the characters of the manga. Like Luffy is still that sheer will of boundless hope and optimism. Zoro is still.
Is he shouty?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's his thing. Like that's Luffy.
Like that's like kind of Japanese manga in general, though. You know, these.
Yeah, but like I watch TV to relax. I don't need someone shouting at me.
That's like, then you're kind of taking away one of the core things of Luffy in that absolute sense of adventure and energy. He is a child who has been filled with Lucozade and shaken up and just thrown in the sea. Like that is the core. That is one of the core conceits of his character. No, if you just don't like Luffy as a character, then
you know what, like, Katie just told me into watching it.
It's not that I don't like Luffy as a character. He's just very, very loud, and it kind of gives me sensory overload.
Is this just making you think of like balloon parties?
No, balloon parties I can handle. That's fine.
I meant children at them.
Oh, I just tune them out. But like, you can't tune out Luffy. He's the main character.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you can't tune out Luffy. He's just too loud.
That's fair. I think he is still Luffy, and the reasons I like him is because he's managed to capture what is a very cartoon character to kind of like to that real life.
Well, that's what I'm fascinated with whenever they do like try real people in animated form, because I've seen like Erased and Death Note, and they're quite muted anyway. But like the big characters, like, you know, that translation is what I'm interested. Do they succeed in that? Like, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and One Piece is nothing if not colorful in its characterizations. And they do it. Yeah, no, they absolutely pull it off. Yeah, no, like I don't know really what else to say about it. I really enjoy. I think I am just aghast that I enjoyed it so much.
So you liked it better than the Cowboy Bebop one?
Oh, miles and leagues. Yeah, like I was. I think I played real devil's advocate for that one.
That's why I remember that. Yeah. You were kinder to it than most other people.
Yeah, I could see what they were doing, but I could definitely tell it wasn't good.
Right.
But this like unabashedly is like, no, this they've managed to nail what makes One Piece One Piece.
All right. Well, then, before we get to our 200th celebration, just imagine I had a party popper there. I believe there's also a game that's eating your life.
Yeah, I finally got my hands on Baldur's Gate 3.
Sorry, for the benefit of people listening, Kev kind of sulked in his chair and did a massive sigh before going, yeah. Like he has to do Jerry duty or something.
No, it is shameful the amount of my free time that this game is taking.
This
kind of a good game.
It's Baldur's Gate 3. Listen, if you're anywhere near like nerdy Twitter, I'm sure you've heard about it at this point. But what do any of you know about Baldur's Gate?
I think we set this off the air, but on your recommendation, I watched Dungeons and Dragons, the film that just went to Paramount Plus, and I was shocked that the first location in the film was Baldur's Gate, because I didn't know that was like a D&D.
Yeah, so Baldur's Gate is based on Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I think
not necessarily specifically 5th edition. So Dungeons and Dragons, through all of its editions, has had its own lore and mythology and kind of planar cosmology. So Baldur's Gate is in the material plane on the kind of the planet of Faerun. And that's where like you'll get a lot of kind of names that you might recognize in like Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate and things like that. Like if you're kind of like reading the D&D books and kind of like, you know, reading a lot of the source books or even reading like a lot of the kind of the novel adaptations of it, there are a lot of kind of names that'll crop up. So Baldur's Gate is a very major town. Neverwinter is the other one. I was racking my brains for the other one. And yeah, so Baldur's Gate is a primary city in that kind of universe. And the Baldur's Gate franchise has been a kind of a very D&D heavy based RPG game.
Well, before we even get into it, like, is this appealing to like outside of the D&D circle? Like, you know,
I would say so. Like if you have any interest in fantasy, that this would be, I think this would really appeal to you.
Right. Yeah, they put a lot of work into like the character creation and the classes and the subclasses and the backstories and everything. So like it would appeal to just general fantasy fans.
Yeah, like the bones of it rely on like a lot of the kind of the core rule sets of Dungeons and Dragons of the tabletop RPG, but it's still like a heavily accessible just fantasy game. You know, if you like Skyrim, if you like Dragon Age, it's another one of those in a different skin. And a very
that was going to be my next question. Is this like a hacking slashing gameplay wise, or
it's strategy?
Okay,
yeah, it's incredibly open ended. Like Larian Studios have gone above and beyond to make choice matter a lot in this game, which means that like there is so many different outcomes for any of your choices. Like because it's D&D based, so everything is done by a roll of the dice in the game.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
okay.
So there's a strategy element to it, but then there's also just pure luck.
Yeah, and there's ways to bend that luck to like fit what you want. But if you kind of like, if you know the rules right and play the game and like stack and stat things the right way, you probably don't ever have to actually fight an encounter at all. You could likely talk your way out of any scenario in this game.
So wait, is there like a wandering like Mass Effect Dragon Age feeling to it then? I'm just trying to get my head through like what a normal day in the gameplay is.
Yeah, so like you're kind of like plunked. There's setup, there's backstory. But for lack of a better word, you're plunked in just this open map world. Told, hey, go get the slug out of your brain.
Right.
And go figure that out. And you can walk up. That's it. And you could walk up to the Druid's Grove and they're like, hey, we're getting attacked by a bunch of goblins. And you're given the choice of you can go in and start massacring goblins. You can go and talk to the goblins, find out they want to go massacre the Druids. So you could go try to massacre the Druids. You could talk to both of them.
So is it like open-ended, like the
completely,
like, story, or?
Oh yeah, we a friend of ours is one of mine and Louise's friends are decided for her first run through to be a full evil playthrough.
Okay.
In which, because you're given like a set of like party player characters who you can also like inhabit and play as well as your custom one. Like they're your D&D party, and they've got their own backstories and that. In an evil playthrough, you can fully murder them and then get your own get a whole different party of just evil players.
Okay, so there's a lot of replayability then.
Yeah, Louise is on her 4th playthrough. And this is not a short game.
Okay, I can see why people are getting drawn into it.
Yeah, like there's such a level of detail. Like every choice, there's no like black and white choice. Like sometimes you're just kind of given a thing of like just literally before logging on there, I'm in a Githyanki camp who are these kind of like extra planar sort of elves who hunt mind flayers, the whole thing. And I've been talking my way through them, and I walk in and I find a Githyanki hatchery with an egg of an unborn Githyanki. And I was just kind of following through the dialogue options, and at one point I just saw the options for, well, if I just convince him to take the egg. And I did, and now, but I have no idea what to do with this egg. I just have the egg of an unborn Githyanki in my bag, and I don't know. Like that's just. I guess I'll figure out what I'm doing with that later. Like,
welcome to parenthood.
Yeah, apparently I've just made Lae'zel a mother. Like that's. But like there's
like an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine about that.
Yeah, it's very like there's, there are some pretty clear. Oh, this is the solution to this problem. Sometimes just given something of like, well, this might come back. Who's to say?
I'm getting like Shadow of Mordor vibes off it from the way you're explaining it.
I'd say a lot more open-ended than Shadow of Mordor.
Okay.
Yeah,
just because of the way the orcs learned and came back.
The vibe that I got from it was like very Dragon Age with more consequences.
Yeah, Dragon Age would be a closer.
More consequences.
Oh yeah,
that game is all consequences.
Buckle up, kids.
Yeah, there's.
See, now it just sounds very stressful.
It can be, but also if you play your cards right, you can just have a really chill time.
I don't believe you.
You shouldn't. Or you could just play it as a dating game, because that's also a whole other.
See, now it sounds like Fire Emblem again.
Yeah,
it's a choose your own adventure.
Literally.
So, like in your house or your flat or whatever, there's happy One Piece in one corner of the room. And then there's like the dark corner of the room with like Baldur, like egg adoption and all this kind of stuff, and your dating tree.
I wouldn't say it's dark. Just because I'm dating a woman named Shadowheart, but she's totally cool.
She's so racist.
She learns to be better about it.
So racist.
Now it sounds like Mass Effect.
She learns to be better about it, but also Lae'zel has made it abundantly clear that she only wants to murder her.
That's fair.
Do you and your fiance discuss your pairings in these games?
Oh, constantly. Again, in the month I didn't have it, I was getting nothing but updates on Louise. There was one playthrough she started, made her feelings clear to the giant demon girl named Karlak.
Nice.
Then went over to Gale, who's the wizard, and started talking to him, and it basically fell into also dating him. Turned around and saw an exclamation mark above Karlak for a conversation, and just hard wiped that save. Just
They can find out.
Yeah,
You're all in the same party.
yeah. Like this would be like you've got like a kind of a camp that you can go back to all the time, and they're just standing across from each other. Like that's.
But like, what happens?
Consequences. They're like, hey, why are you making out with somebody else?
Yes, I know, but I want to know what happens.
Not big on polyamory, are they?
Disapproval. There are some polyamorous pairings. I believe they mostly revolve around Halcyon. If you know who Halcyon is.
Not familiar, no.
No. Big beefy druid man. Real chill.
Nice.
Real hot.
Nice.
In case you didn't hear it, Katie just went, "Oh,
yeah."
We've now discovered her type.
We like big, beefy, burly boys.
Yeah, he comes in around Act 2.
But specifically beefy, burly druids. If you don't have that basic alchemy, like, you know.
What's his name?
This is Halcyon.
Where does he live?
For
extracurricular off the air
Could I bump
activity.
into him at a balloon gig?
I'm gonna me and Katie are gonna research some burly men off the air. But
he has less beard than I was expecting.
While the two of them confer.
But yeah, no, Baldur's Gate. I like it. Any love for fantasy? Baldur's Gate gets a recommendation.
Oh my!
I was hoping for more beard, but I'll take it.
Yeah, but he's also got like this vibe. He's real chill. Like he's a druid. He just kind of like everything. He's got a very commanding presence, but he's also like, hey man, everybody loves everyone.
He has piercing eyes.
Yeah, he does.
They can see into your soul.
This is radio. You're gonna have to do more description.
No.
No. This is you, the listeners' homework. Just go look at pictures of Halcyon.
Yeah.
Just go look at pictures of all of them, because yeah, all of the party of Baldur's Gate are extremely attractive and also incredibly fun.
It's one with his shirt off. Oh my God.
And moving swiftly onward.
Yeah, you've lost me for the rest of this episode. Sorry.
All right. Well, if this episode abruptly stops, it will be because Dara edited out the rest of this because my gimmick is an absolute nightmare. So,
sorry, Dara.
It being the 200th.
What are you sorry for?
We're looking at beefy burly boys on the internet.
Oh, that's okay. I've been playing Shadow of War the entire time, so
brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know what
you edit that out too.
I don't know what you've been saying, but I'm assuming it's okay.
Oh, you're gonna have fun on the playback.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. This is the unique experience. Dara listens back to things he was there for the first time.
I know nothing about D&D. People refuse to play it with me. Everyone has their own little groups, so
then play Baldur's
Dara,
Gate.
Then you can play Baldur's Gate. It's just like playing D&D with digital friends.
No, I have way too many digital friends as it is. No more digital friends. Only people.
Well, then play it solo.
That's true. Okay, maybe. Okay, you've sold me on it, but I am playing Shadow of War.
Oh no, by digital friends I mean the characters in the game.
Oh, that's okay then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Oh my god.
But you can also Baldur's Gate does also have multiplayer.
That's fair. I do have quite the backlog to get through though, so it's going to be a while.
Enjoy the re-listen of this, Dara. You might say I need a glass of water because we are thirsty.
Thirst has no curfew.
You're aware we're on a 5, yeah?
Thirst has no curfew.
We're a perfectly PG level of thirst.
What happened? Yeah. I used to have to edit myself out, and now Kev is taking over.
I told you, I'm in my edge era.
Actually, in fairness, I started this one.
That's fair. Anyway, Cian, please save the show.
Cian, yeah. What are we
unless
celebrating?
that audio drooling has been edited out.
Which
I
it won't
thought,
be.
well, the 100th episode we did 100 episodes ago or thereabouts. I know there's been lots of wrestling things and all that. We were in the midst of lockdown. It was early 2021. And to commemorate it, we covered the Simpsons movie because we were covering the Simpsons at the time because there was no new content whatsoever. And we all were going a bit stir crazy. Before I even get into the little gimmick of this, like, we kind of became a network in that period. Kev,
Yes.
what do you remember of like that sort of whole, like, that was kind of our podcast explosion for us?
Yeah, it's crazy the things you can actually do when you don't have to commit all of your time to a job you don't really care about and most of your day to it.
Yeah, it was essentially like early retirement.
I fond memories of living vicariously through Persona 5 and and as you said, inadvertently starting a podcast network.
Yes, I mean, me and Kev were in a shop. Like, Katie, you got like the full experience, didn't you?
Yeah, I try not to remember too much about that time, to be honest.
Well,
Just
it's
putting it
funny
out
you
there.
should say remember, because here's my little gimmick. We can also treat this, for any medical professionals listening, as like our early like memory test thing, see if we're going senile. Because all I'm going to do is just read you the titles of our episodes and see if 100 episodes on, you remember a single thing about the content.
Oh gosh.
I feel like
Oh,
I feel like
Dara
it is worth.
You know what's so
Doesn't
bad about
remember
this?
this episode he's in at the moment.
You know what's so bad
No, I'm
about
not.
this?
I'm not hedging bets with him, but
You know what's so bad about it, right? So the only way I remember is what we've talked about is when Keen sends a little write-up. So I'm going to do really bad on this one.
Yeah, I did
If
not
Keen doesn't
sign
send
up
the
for
write-up,
this.
I have no
for
idea what we're
this.
talking about.
I did not sign up for this level of attack today.
Like
it's only
like
attack
clockwork.
if you do it badly.
Like clockwork, at the moment we stop recording an episode, I just flush my brain and the past hour just vanishes into the ether.
Like, honest to God, if it wasn't for Keen sending me, like, that's why when you're looking at the feed and if there's no recap, it's because Keen was not on the show or did not provide one. One
Isn't
time
that
Kev did it
why?
though, and that was great. So I appreciate Kev for doing it.
I don't remember that at all.
Let's all fail together.
Oh
Oh,
my
God.
god, I love it. Okay, well that has cleared up the afternoon because I did look through the last 100 episodes, and sometimes there are these like lavish descriptions with like puns and stuff, and sometimes it is just the date. So now I know why.
True.
Uh,
It's true.
But
These are the-
some are easier than others. I'll start
Okay.
with a nice easy one just before the 100th.
Okay.
Honda stocks and stonks. Anyone have any idea
Oh.
what that refers
Oh.
to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
that would have been GameStop.
that was GameStop. Yeah.
So we're 2 years on from that.
Damn. Well, I mean, it doesn't
Wow.
exist in this country anymore, so I can't say I'm surprised.
I think there's still one in like Stevens Green or something.
Oh, I thought they were. No, I think
No,
they're
they're all gone. They're all
Are
gone.
you sure?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
only
they
ones
had like
that-
they had a big closing down sale. Like,
They were selling the walls.
What am I thinking
I
of?
brought this wall from home.
So I mean, like, no, they're very firmly gone from Ireland.
I know Golden Discs is really big there in now.
HMV is back. Have you seen that?
HMV is
Yeah.
back and
I
is
haven't been
taking
there.
that. It's you know what? It's filling that void because it's 90% Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Oh man, which is also some like they're in a lot of danger as well for just I think their time has come and gone, but still.
Look, if they open for a year and close shop, they might make a profit off a novelty, you know?
No, Funko Pops. The
Oh,
company.
Funko Pops. Oh,
yeah.
I think they're still in that like Beanie Baby phase where some are probably valuable, you know?
Yeah, what was it? There was a report there like a couple of weeks ago that like the company just like dumped 2 or 3 barrels, like vans, full of stock into the desert. So that's not a good sign. When you start eating it, that's a really bad sign.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move at a quick pace because there's at least 50 of these.
Oh god.
Okay.
Now, the Thomas Jane Appreciation, aka the Runaway Bus Show.
Okay, I don't remember the bus, but I do remember. I remember we really start like gushing about how much we all like Thomas Jane.
Was that something about?
I'm gonna assume the
Punisher?
runaway bus is just me desperately trying to keep the show on track and failing.
Were we talking about Punisher?
Are we talking about Snaky Bus?
You did this.
I have a question.
Yes,
Go on.
Thomas Jane.
I can confirm you
Thomas
were on this
Jane.
episode.
Thomas,
I'd like to repeat my question.
Thomas Jane was the Punisher before Ray Winston
He was,
Yes.
and he's in The
D-
Expanse.
and Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm so glad that it meant as much to us as it did to the audience. You stuck with us. Okay, I'll throw you like an easier one then. The Snyder Cut, Justice League, MCU thoughts and more. So, what do you think that refers to?
The Snyder
Oh,
Cut.
The Snyder Cut, MCU thoughts and more.
Raking in the big bucks there. I mean, doesn't it feel like a million years ago that like people were handing out flyers for release of Snyder Cut at Comic-Con and all that? Doesn't that seem quite quaint now?
Yeah, sometimes kids don't always, be careful what you wish for.
I quite like the Snyder Cut. It's just the
So-
fuss
so
over
like,
it.
The
seemed
frame,
quaint.
the framing was very annoying though, where it was like watching it through a letterbox. And I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this, Snyder? Stop!
Still haven't watched it.
It's a good time."
Yeah, it's like 4 hours though. Who has that kind of time?
You know what?
could be
Actually,
napping.
I did watch it in like 4 1-hour sittings, and I thought it was much better than the 2-hour one. So, like,
Oh yeah, well
and I
that
don't
wasn't-
like Zack Snyder films at all, so that's saying something.
That's fair.
All right, so I feel like an honorable mention should go to, what do we do? 12 series of The Simpsons?
Yes, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like, what a mad time to be alive! Like, like going through all that, because now we're introducing it in Futurama to my kids and all that. Like, do you remember anything of blasting through an entire series of The Simpsons every week?
No, because I
Um,
used to do it. I used to do it once a day for like 3 years.
I remember at one point I just wanted it to stop.
Just make the pain stop.
This is turning into the behind the music of our own podcast.
Just make it go away.
This is when the Simpsons split up and like went and did their solo projects, and Homer was in Rent 2.
He literally chewed the scenery.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep it rolling at a nice pace. So, the big Irish HSC cybersecurity special. That was the 8th.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was Irish Avengers, right?
It was.
Yes, well done.
No, it wasn't Irish Avengers. No, that was a different one.
Are you sure?
No, that was one of our oddly serious ones when the HSE got hacked. The Irish Avengers, it was a couple of years after that, I think. That
Oh
was a
my
good
gosh.
one.
So,
How long have
just
I
to
been
clarify,
alive?
multiple hacks,
Yes,
if that's the case.
yes. This was the big one though. This was the one that like loads of people's records got like leaked on the dark web and stuff.
Right. Okay, well, I'm going to move on to something happier. I actually listened to this episode, and it does not help the title at all. Kean, Katie, and Kev's Wild Adventure.
Oh yeah, this is one that I wasn't on, so I really don't remember it, but it was great. I remember I edited it and I sat down and actually listened to it, and I was like, "Oh, this is a wonderful time." I have no idea what you guys talked about, but it's a fun show.
You edited it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I listened to it. I listened to it afterwards.
Oh my god. Well,
Okay,
you know
we
what?
went on an adventure. I'm assuming there were snacks.
Well, you know what? I think that's as good a time as any to bring up my favorite memory of being on this, and I'm glad Kev is coming back in time for this. In fact, I'm actually gonna give Kev a second to come back in before I talk about it. Instead, I'll skip on to the next one.
But what was the grand adventure?
You're just going to listen to it, aren't you?
Oh,
True. And you
Just
can listen to
keeping
all these
secrets.
shows. You can listen to all these shows for free on nerdtoknowmedia.com
That's right, yeah.
and Spotify, etc.
plugging it.
A MCU multiverse madness. Now that could be literally anything, but this is 21. So go on, Dar. You're good at remembering things. Give us a shot. What do you think that is?
Yeah, no, I think this was when Marvel started doing their multiverse thing initially. I don't think it's a review of Multiverse of Madness.
It's probably a mix of things like Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Verse, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, because Wanda kind of came up. Like, it feels really bizarre. We won't dwell on the MCU because it will just eat the episode. But, like, it is really bizarre that we got a year off Marvel. An entire phase has come and gone since that 100th episode. Like, you know, do you feel like, Katie, I know you've got mixed feelings on, like, the MCU in general, but Dara, do you feel like it's, like, dizzying now, or, like...
I think Katie was right, and history will show Katie was right.
Can I get that printed on a t-shirt?
Happily. Yeah, the MCU has been kind of horrific since Endgame, for many reasons, but had some odd, good points, but like it's more kind of a case of how bad will it be, not will it be good.
I don't personally agree. I think history will be kinder to this phase. It's just without the burden of expectation. Like, I'm currently rewatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it's really good. But
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be completely honest. I hadn't even noticed there was a new phase.
I think, I don't think there's going to be so much of kindness as I think a lot of this is just going to be forgotten.
Possibly, yes.
The phrase superhero fatigue thing, it gets thrown around a lot. It's kind of a meme, but it's like, no, like we're at the point now where, the very few of these will actually be made, but I think the days of the dominating box office and stuff is very much over. Very much over.
Now that you're back, Kev. So,
damn, I thought I could go
words.
Unnoticed here. I thought I could just like slip out, slip back.
No, he was just like, I'm not playing the game.
I could ghost prepared, which required you, which is I'm gonna say 3 things, and I'm hoping you remember what their significance are. So, Matt Damon, Neil Gaiman, and Arthur.
Yes.
Of course, I remember the Arthur episode. The cameo,
the greatest cameo ever.
Do you want to give us like a 30-second catch up?
No, I think all I need to say was Neil Gaiman, what are you doing in my falafel?
I think you're underselling it. I think your vivid description of the human-ish looking Matt Damon.
Oh, yeah. It was like, should we draw him as a human or an aardvark?
Like,
yes.
I don't think I've ever laughed so much that I got concerned.
Whatever list of ideas we had for that episode went right through the window because we could not stop but hyperfixate on I think it's everything there.
I have to Google it again now.
I think it's probably one of my favorite episodes we've ever done.
That one, I think handily that one's on YouTube. It's slightly easier to find.
So Kate minimizes the Halson picture and maximizes the Matt Damon picture.
Can we just make every episode about Matt Damon and Arthur?
You know what? I'm sure it would work.
I think like
why is he so muscular though?
That's Matt Damon asking the Arthur producers, just make me buff.
Oh my god. All right, moving on to slightly more normal. The Suicide Squad and new Doctor Who. So, does anyone have any fond memories or any memories at all about the James Gunn Suicide Squad?
Oh yeah, no, that movie was a blast.
Yeah.
Like it like Gunn knows how to make a like campy, schlocky like bloodfest. And he managed to make the dullest character in the original, what's his name? Rick Flag?
Right.
He managed to make him fun by simply just putting a yellow t-shirt on.
All right. Well, look, Sylvester Stallone Shark. That's all I'm there for.
Yeah, Peter Capaldi and his giant brain and the big starfish at the end. That movie's a hell of a lot of fun. Like that's DC throwing stuff at the wall and something sticking. I almost can't blame them for them seeing that and being like, this man, this man now runs our company.
Now, this one's slightly more obscure. Cyberpunk 2077 and the James Corden rant. I'm going to assume that's a Dara thing.
Oh God, I hate James Corden.
Yeah, no, that could have been me though. I do not like that man.
Does anyone
God.
like him?
Apparently somebody likes him, but I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh no. Sorry, I'm so angry. I can't even say words.
Dara, do you have to go to bed?
Tell you what, I've got something that'll lift your spirits. Because this is the start of what has become, I suppose you'd call a piece of lore for us. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Forbidden Cinema Trip.
Oh my God, yes. What a wonderful journey that was.
Really, Shang-Chi is just a footnote in what has become an ongoing customer relations battle.
I think, was this one of these scenarios where the review of the hot dog was more thorough than the review of the movie?
Yes. And in case you think I'm speculating, the next episode is Tales from the Cinema Part 2. Not hang around on that.
Oh man.
Never mind. Tales from the Cinema Part 3, Cinema Selfies.
That's I was gonna say one of these was one of those was an extended rant of people taking pictures in the cinema. I remember that.
Oh my God, I hate it so much.
This is content you have proudly put your name on.
I'm still standing by this. I mean,
I think it's a fair statement to be like, here is my platform, and people shouldn't take pictures of themselves in
I'm
a
just
cinema.
saying, there's more
during the film.
The length of your rants, 3 episodes in, already eclipsed the Fellowship of the Ring.
I just don't understand why you take pictures of yourself in a dark cinema.
The lighting's all wrong.
It's terrible.
It's bad, and it makes it worse for everyone.
Exactly.
Why?
There's literally a thing before every movie saying, please turn your phone off and don't even check it. Are you going to have to add, don't take a picture of yourself? Like, I mean, there's some things you shouldn't have to spell out. It's like saying, caution, contents of your hot coffee might be hot.
Did you say that?
Well,
I know,
now,
that's what I'm saying. This is where we're going.
All right, I'm going to move at a brisk pace because we've got 10 minutes. I'm only 20 in out of 100. Squid Game, and why is everyone talking about it? Does anyone have any fond memories of Squid Game now, or was that like sort of a hype thing?
How quaint. It's like...
I mean, I wouldn't say it was a hype thing, but I also wouldn't say I have fond memories.
Oh, I do. I watched it 3 times. I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was great, but it's not a happy show.
No,
Right.
it's a very depressing, horrible show.
Yeah, it's not something you look back on fondly. You're like, I enjoyed that, but it was awful.
I don't think I've heard anything about it now since they announced, but I still don't understand how they're making a second season.
No, it feels very complete.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have like ended it and properly ended it the way they did. I think trying to milk
or if you're going to do
for-
another, do it from a different character's point of view or something.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to milk it with the same character doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Plus,
dude, you were
snapped some of the actors there, so
yeah, it's just it's not good. But anyway, go on.
This next one speaks for itself. Kian has never heard of Street Fighter 2.
I still can't believe that.
2 years, still haven't heard of it.
Have you heard of it
biggest
yet?
fighting game on the planet.
Yeah.
How did you go this long without knowing who?
Well, I haven't
Chun-Li is?
played it.
We literally talked about it last week.
I know.
No, you don't have to have played it. I've not played a lot of Street Fighter 2, but I've known what Street Fighter 2 is for a long time.
I can figure out the concept.
No, but like it's how do you go that long without knowing about like Chun-Li?
That's true.
All right.
Or M. Bison, for that matter.
I'm going to keep moving at a bit of a mad pace now. Maybe we'll pick this up next week if we only get to like 50 or something. But now, Venom, the Batman comics are weird. So, and by the way, this is actually referring to Venom 2. So I believe you had a soft spot for this, Kev. Is that still the case?
Oh, yeah, no, those Venom movies are peak.
Yeah, I agree.
I will not have a bad word be said against them. That whole
Terrible.
sequence where Venom leaves Tom Hardy and goes partying in the underground, peak cinema.
Yes.
All I wanted out of a movie was Venom with glow sticks, and it's exactly what I got.
I need to see this movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
they're
haven't seen
very
this
good.
movie yet?
I've
Oh my
seen the
God,
first one. I've seen the first one.
It's on Netflix, I think, by now.
Yeah, I think they are.
The second one is as good, and it has like,
It is.
oh my God, I need to shake whoever decided to put oh, what's his name? Woody Harrelson. Whoever decided to make Woody Harrelson Carnage.
Woody Harrelson's
James.
awesome.
No,
He
but
is.
it's like that's the Carnage. Like he's not. It's like he's so not that character. It comes full circle, and it's just Woody Harrelson in like a flesh suit. But
Oh
it's
my God.
glorious. It's absolute, and like they toned it down. You said you watched it? Did you watch the post credit scene where he had the really bad wig?
Oh yeah, that was Venom 1.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it was glorious. I almost wish they committed for that.
Well, we'll keep on with that now because we reviewed Dune, which the second one's coming out now. I still think that one holds up really well.
That second one has been pushed back to, I think, early next year.
I don't mind as long as it's good when it arrives.
Yeah.
We have our second ransomware episode, God help us.
Since weren't learned the first time.
Yes. It's almost like people aren't listening to us.
That's true, unfortunately. This is how I have a career, Keen. People never listen, and then bad things happen, and they come back.
Part 4 in the cinema rants, which isn't in the title, but it's the No Way Home review, and that's my most vivid memory of it.
Oh yeah, oh wow, yeah, that was wild. Go on.
And followed quickly by the new Matrix Christmas special.
Oh man, that was a great movie. I saw that 5 times.
Yeah, I watched it on TV. I enjoyed it.
In the cinema. I went to go see it in the cinema 5 times.
It has lingered on my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure I'd call it my favorite thing ever, but yeah, it did stick there.
Everything The Force Awakens should have been a deconstruction of nostalgia.
Oh, I'm getting a clear vision of what you want for Star Wars now.
Yeah.
Now,
somebody to literally break through a wall and say, "Stop liking this."
Exactly. What is wrong with you?
We're coming. You know what? Even if we don't hit all the episodes, I think we're coming up on the other long-running segment, which has haunted this show since February 16th, 22. Moon Knight has too many names.
Oh, here
Dara, would
we
you like to tell us the significance?
Is this the first time I mentioned the
Moon Knight?
British Museum?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
I'm surprised the British Museum isn't more prominent in the title.
We didn't know. We didn't know that was going to stick around.
You know what? I still feel vindicated in this when I had that talk with your man from Marvel, and he's like, "Yeah, we know. We only, we know."
You talked to him specifically about the British Museum.
I had to mention it to him. Yeah, he worked on Moon Knight, and I was like, "What's the story?" It was in Multiverse of Madness, and it's like, we know. We said it to them too. So I feel
And
vindicated.
Secret Invasion.
It wasn't. Well, Secret
It was.
Invasion.
They have a meeting there.
No, that was the National Gallery, which it wasn't.
Oh, all right.
National Gallery is on the other side.
I should also mention the next episode is called Dawn of Dreamcast. So you were on a bloody remaking the show, like, sort of hype or whatever you'd call it there. Something was happening there.
Currently building the foundations of the kingdom we would establish.
Yeah.
And from it shall rise the Dreamcast 2.
Well, Kev, the Dreamcast 2 did arise. It's called the Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The last one I'll mention now before time runs out is 139, which is Dublin Comic Con reopens the world and the Batman review. So that's, to me, now I didn't plan to end it here, but that feels like a nice kind of bookend for starting right in the height of lockdown. And that's sort of like, now that Comic Con was barely attended, but it still kind of felt like a step towards the world reopening. I think I was the only one at the Oh no, you were there at the Comic Con too, Dara. But like, do you have any kind of memories of like things reopening or anything like that? You know?
Yeah, that was a weird Comic Con. Because it was still fun. Now, very few people were at it because obviously, I think some people were still kind of either spooked by large events or there's loads of different things that were kind of like up in the air at that point. But yeah, it was definitely a good time capsule. I think right after that we did our first panel back.
Mm.
So that Comic-Con holds a bit more fond memories for me than the first one back. But I have to say, it was nice to have a bit of normality on the show where it's like, oh cool, we get to go out and like see other people and do the big nerd thing again, which was great.
Yeah. And I should also kind of give some. We talked about the Batman a lot, but I felt like that was the first movie that everyone felt comfortable going to en masse.
Yeah.
So that's worth mentioning as well.
Yeah. That's why I think we mentioned at the time as well that it kind of felt like things were really back to normal then at this point, or at least getting there.
Is it funny actually? Just a thought about how Batman has both kind of signaled the start of the superhero hype cycle and has kind of also
closed the door on it.
Death knell.
Yeah.
I just kind of thought about that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we may have to revisit this next week because the one we're stopping before is the Morbius review.
Oh, it's Morbin time.
You know what? If you two weren't drooling over Baldur's Gate Hot Druids, we'd have gotten to it.
We could have drooled over Morbius.
Did any of you see? It was a thing on Twitter. Matt Smith has a new movie coming out, and like a big press thing put out. It was like starring Matt Smith brackets Morbius.
Oh no!
Nothing. No other credit was necessary.
Oh,
no!
Last Night in Soho is on Netflix right now. What's your excuse?
He had not. It was not an insignificant amount of time in Doctor Who.
Terminator Genesis,
House of Dragons,
and the
the
Star Wars
Dragon was a
movie
big
wasn't
deal.
in just to really put salt in the wound.
The Emperor.
No, people just know Matt Smith from Morbius and only Morbius.
He is the best part of Morbius, in fairness.
Hold on a second. Every part of that movie is amazing. I went to go see that 3 times. Unironically.
That's your problem.
It's Morbin time.
It's Morbin time.
You know what? Save it for next week. I think there may be still gas in this tank or whatever you'd call.
There's maybe still juice in this. Well, hold on a second, because there isn't. Because WB was it WB? Yeah, they tried to put it out again in theaters and it bombed spectacularly.
I mean, in this gimmick, not Morbius. Morbius is done.
Jared Leto did a teaser in a cinema and he said Morbin time to sell that second run of tickets. They had no idea.
No, it killed the meme completely.
And Minions trounced it.
I have to say, Minions Rise of Gru was phenomenal. That was a great movie.
I have it on good authority. Louise went to see it and she thoroughly enjoyed it.
Just take the DVD off us.
Listen, it's so much better than it has any right to be. Genuinely, it is no reason to be that good. Those movies, the ebb and flow of them is the most bizarre thing in the world.
So what I'm hearing, Cian, is in celebration of our 200 special, we're doing this bit twice.
Yes. To be honest, this is really handy because you can just skip 40 episodes now and just do this one and you get Hot Druids. This is like this is like when they condense books down. Like
this is Nerd to Know Media abridged. Nerd to Know Media.
This is like the One Piece catch-up episodes where every 100 episodes.
It is actually really kind of appropriate that you led with One Piece. That's pretend
they have to cram 300 episodes worth of plot into 20 minutes, where 5 of those 20 minutes is outros and openings.
Yeah, I should say there are 20 episodes without names. Anything could be in there. Who knows?
It's like one of those lucky bags. Just spin a wheel, go in.
I mean, I don't know. Apparently, I wasn't on them, so.
And this is my fault because it's a mixture of Keen's fault and my fault because Keen does all the like notation of what we talked about because I don't.
I have children.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. It's amazing that he does it. Like, so what we're saying is, Keen, we appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
Without you, this thing would be a sinking ship.
Yeah, it would be a sunk ship.
We'd still be recording, but we would not be afloat.
but we wouldn't know what we were talking about. That'd be the problem. It would just be void.
Well, in all seriousness, I do like the idea that eventually the radio will always be there, but the podcast bubble will burst eventually to be replaced by 3D television, or I don't know, something like that. And I do like the notion that there's kind of a little bit of a time capsule component to it, you know,
Absolutely.
of like the way lockdown was and what we felt before something like the Batman came out, or like, you know, it's nice to have that saved. It's not the most essential piece of history, but it's still nice to have it, you know?
Hold on a second.
100%.
The cinema chronicles are important.
You gave it a name.
We gotta review those hot dogs.
But no, I think in
People
honor
need
of
to
that,
stop taking selfies in the cinema.
You know what? You're going to turn into that guy from Ratatouille who turns up just to close down restaurants.
Well, no, because
Food.
I still enjoy the cinema, but I don't enjoy like you're halfway through a movie and then just a random flashlight and you're like, oh, I think this is it. And it's like, no, it's someone taking a picture of themselves in the cinema during the movie.
What, do you think you're going to die?
Just be a random flash. You're like, oh, that's probably
We're getting
it.
raptured, lads.
It could be anything. It happened. It has happened more than once, and I cannot explain what. Every time.
Boy.
Yeah.
There's people taking selfies, Dara.
Well,
Not yet. I haven't played that Jurassic Park game enough.
actually, funny you mentioned it, I have actually finished it completely, several times.
Oh, good. Well, now you can go into the pearly white beyond. That's fine.
But no, I want the third one. There's more legs on this, you know, more legs in this franchise.
More dinosaurs.
More dinosaurs. Dinosaurs and roller coasters. That's what you need. That's the magic.
Oh my god. Well, I think we're probably 5 minutes over. Apologies. You can just edit out the drooling to balance it out.
How dare you?
Absolutely not.
Katie's like, no.
That
the
segment
drooling's
is
essential.
integral to the structure of the entire episode.
It's important for
entire
plot
series.
reasons.
All of Spotify, really.
The episode falls apart without the drooling.
The funny thing is, if this was like one of our side things, like the exposure thing, or Kev's like anime crash course, or my game corner thing, that would have been the whole episode, and that would have been great.
Oh yeah, no, like listen, anime crash course with a lot of things. It was horny on main.
I did notice that in the picks, the selection. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Well, I think in honor of as you said, a time capsule, kind of like of that time we done started a news network. I think I'd like to plug, you know, the older shows that we had. They are still out there, and I think at least my one, I think, still holds up.
Not unlike the rest of that trash.
Not like that trash.
Only the horny show survived.
I admittedly never listened to the rest of your guys. Sorry.
Well, as someone who listens to all,
I can't swear, but I want to.
as someone who
I listened to yours and was in yours.
as someone who listened to all of them and edited a lot of them, I think they're all great.
Thank you.
And
Like-
sure, they all have lovely bottoms.
No.
But
I will say I like that feature of the game corner, which is like I know it's probably been lost to history more or less, but like it was nice to just make contact with 2 people a week. Sometimes people I didn't know, some people I did, and just find out what board games and games they're playing, because it did have a nice sense of that isolation and that sort of like what people were doing with their time. And we got the likes of Keith and all them in, like, you know, and Saoirse.
I mean,
and
they're all up on Spotify, but like all the for want of a better word, pandemic stuff is all up on YouTube because I had more time to put it up on YouTube.
There you go.
That's,
So, I mean,
think
it's all
that's
there.
the easiest way to find it in an archive. I think that
Yeah.
that was all playlisted, so that should all
Yeah.
be pretty.
So your homework is to go and find this Arthur thing, and then Google images from Baldur's Gate 3. Apparently,
That's the homework.
homework. We expect to see you next week.
we missed an opportunity. You should have just described these characters in great detail, Kev.
He had his shirt off.
Kian, we need draws for next week. Come on.
Okay.
Return
Next week, Kev will, in very sensuous detail,
We're on a 5.
doesn't matter.
No.
Describe
This is Spotify only content.
Okay.
we're
After dark.
getting deep in the weeds here.
After hours.
If you just hear the sounds of like birds tweeting, like in the old days when people used to swear on Big Brother and stuff, then
Hey,
it'd be because it was too sensuous.
Hey, like, listen, this game has a lot of settings. Let's just say I could go into pretty graphic detail about these character models.
Wow.
I have
okay.
seen it.
Game features.
I've seen it. Oh my god. Okay. And on that note, folks, we will pick it
On
up
that note?
Oh man.
Oh my god. Just push that bus off the cliff, why don't you?
Thank you all for listening. If you would like to support us more, we have a Patreon.
We do.
I
Before
don't
we
know
get
why
cancelled.
you would, but if you want to,
We have a Patreon. Spread the word of the podcast, and then you too can find out
come
about.
and drool with us.
That should be a T-shirt.
Before we get cancelled.
Oh,
Send me money for my fantasy babes.
This is the episode that will get leaked when I'm famous in 20 years.
Oh my god.
All right. Until we will hopefully, if we remember, let's be honest, pick back up with this segment next week. But until then,
It's Morbin time.
The rest of you, please.
Together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's
It's
Morbin
Morbin time.
I hate you all. Not even saying goodbye.
All right, so you're listening to the podcast. You're like, hey, I'm not in Ireland. How do I get in touch? Well, TuneIn has you covered. That's how you can check us out live when we're on the radio. You go to TuneIn and download the app, or you can check out the live streams on nerdtoknowmedia.com or Phoenix 92.5 FM. If you want to get in contact with us, it's very easy. Nerd to Know Media everywhere. Nerd to Know Media on Twitter. Nerd to Know Media Instagram. Nerd to Know Media on Twitch. Nerd to Know Media at gmail.com if you want to reach out via email. Hope to hear from you soon. Check out the Wrestling Rewind here on Phoenix 92.5 FM every Tuesday at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And of course over on nerdtoknowmedia.com, the only wrestling podcast by wrestling fans who don't hate wrestling. We'll see you then.
Hey, Dara, what are you doing over there in Ireland? Like with the freaking leprechauns and everything. That's not cool. You should be over here with the cosplayers. At least then you could, like, I don't know, pretend like you got, I don't know, some kind of thing going on. Yeah, with you give me a Brooklyn glaze. With your dick, Dara. Dara? Yeah, Dara. Why ain't you over here with Joey? Anyway, we miss you, dude. So, it's Bill Karibo saying,
I love it. All I do.
Thank you for listening to a Nerd to Know Media production.